You know, I had a hard time when they were like saying the phrase "say my name."
It was enticing and almost menacing how they say it. What do you think of it?
You know, like say my name when nobody's around you.
But no one's saying I love in this movie is.
What's up, everybody?
I'm Ranuma.
I'm Ace.
And I'm Leo.
And welcome to the Aren't I podcast.
Welcome,
What's up,
y'all.
guys?
And we in the studio, y'all.
We are in the studio.
What's up? How you guys been? You guys good?
I'm fantastic.
You guys excited for this Halloween
Yes.
weekend?
I'm super excited. This is my first time in the studio.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That is
Yeah.
right. He's normally
It's
on the other
It's
side of the
amazing
camera.
here.
Yeah.
He's usually on this little screen.
Yeah.
You know. but-
Right?
You see, I am a real person. I'm a real boy.
Well, today's episode, we're going to be talking about the movie Candyman that came out in 2021 with director Nia DaCosta along with writers Jordan Peele and Wynn Rosenfeld. It's a movie about basically the Chicago projects that has been just kind of tormented by the supernatural hook slasher, not hooker, excuse me, but and a new, today's artist is now trying to understand the Candyman story. With the price of his sanity and everything around him just ending in violence. And this movie, I thought it was great. It was really good. There was a lot of things that I wasn't really expecting, but I didn't understand Candyman. Like, I don't even remember the 1992 film. Did you guys watch that one?
No.
Like, I was only 5 when that came out, I believe. It was 92, yeah.
Yes.
So I was like 5 years old, so I wasn't allowed to watch that. And what's funny about this is that I thought that this Candyman was a superhero.
Like Candyman in general, or this
What's the
specific?
hook? Too?
I thought the original Tony Todd. I thought he was a superhero. Because I just instantly thought, oh, he's like, because I saw the projects and I saw a bunch of kids. He's giving them candy, and then he was like killing adults, and I was just like, oh, this guy must be like a dope. I was just like, this guy's like, he's a child, like, fighter. He fights for the child, And so I was like, this guy got to be dope, right? And then I'm just like, oh wait, no, these are just regular people.
Not bad people.
Oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh, geez. For real though, like when I was like, I want to say like 11 years old, I was just like, he's a good guy, right?
Was Captain Hook a good guy?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
guess
If
I
you
guess
look
that's
at
the
it
moral of the story, right?
Yeah. if you
Anybody
look-
with a hook
Right.
in
Right.
any movie,
Right.
not you are bad. Apparently.
So we got a couple of characters. We have Anthony McCoy, who plays the main character. He's played by Yahya. I don't know how to say his last name. Abdul Mateen II. And he actually, if you guys, he's from the Aquaman movie.
Oh,
He was
he's Black Manta.
Black Manta, yeah.
Oh.
And he is the main character in this movie, and he is
Protagonist.
and he is the artist that he's like a struggling artist that's looking for like his new work. 'Cause,
Yes.
Right, yeah.
The previous work he did was great, but it's old, I guess.
Yeah.
And
They
then
always gotta find something new to do.
exactly, and then he has his girlfriend Brianna Cartwright, who seems to be like another art curator or someone that kind of finds other artists.
Yeah.
And then you have, I don't know if you guys saw, but it was a reprise role from the 1992 film. It was Anne Marie McCoy who played his mother.
Yeah.
And if you guys are familiar with the 1992 film, she is the same character.
Yeah. The original
in
mom.
the
I thought that was cool. And also Candyman. It's the original Candyman.
Tony Todd
Yeah.
Tony Todd is
Tony
the
Todd
original,
is the
yeah.
original Candyman as well.
came in at the end.
Yeah, and
But-
I didn't expect, because I was just like, oh no, I knew that Anthony was gonna be, I like, it just kind of seemed like he was the next,
Right.
Yeah.
But what was really exciting was when finding out that Jordan Peele was the writer of this. Because have you guys seen Get Out or Us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He's
yeah,
a great writer.
great writer.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, because I don't ever really pay attention to who the director or the writers are.
Right.
But I was watching the movie and I'm like, man, this got a Peele feel to it, like
Yep.
totally. And then I look up, the actors and whatever, and I see that he was one of the writers. I'm like, That makes sense. I feel
Right.
like
Right.
he has a distinct writing style that
Yep.
you could definitely tell whenever it's like Get Out or Us or
Mhm.
So yeah,
It's-
it definitely had that feel to it.
Very twisted, you know.
Yeah.
It's and it's not like in a like, oh my gosh, it's just gonna take a turn to the worst. Like every single screen or every single scene that comes up, it just gets you thinking more on what's gonna happen next because he has a Jordan Peele twist on every movie that he had. Get Out and this movie too.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about a lot of what Jordan writes. When in Us, right? Like you never really see until the end. Like you're like, oh snap, the twist is there.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that you would never think that there was gonna be one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
thought
Yeah.
everything was fine, and then you're like, hold up, wait a minute, you know. But yeah, so the way that he wrote Anthony's character, or I don't know who actually wrote what character he wrote, but I just know that I feel like his Anthony McCoy and even Brianna Cartwright's characters. I feel like they were written around Jordan, but it's but the story around the other characters or them as characters, like the brother Nathan. Remember how he was explaining to them about the story of the ghetto, the I think it's Cabrini Green
Yeah.
projects, and how there was just like a baby and this person named Helen, and I didn't see the 1992 film, so I had to look up the trailer,
Yeah.
and the names were all there,
Yeah.
all just matched. I was just like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. Like it's from the first film,
Yeah.
and so I'm just like, wait, so how did he hear that story? And I was just like, okay, I'm trying to puzzle everything together, and I was just like, does Brianna have anything with this? Because I don't know if you knew, but Brianna had a father who was also an artist, but he had a psychotic breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, remember he was in the windowsill.
Yeah, so I can fly.
Yeah.
But didn't the very first Candyman, wasn't he an artist as well?
Yes.
Yes, the 1891,
Right.
right?
And then so it was like every single I don't know if would you call it like decade, generation or whatnot.
I think it was not based on time. It was based on injustice, right? Because the first Candyman was killed because he fell in love with the slave owner's daughter, and they had a baby, and he got murdered unjustly, right? Because she said, "Oh, he did stuff to me," right? And so I think that's where that Candyman comes from. Is from the rage or that desire for revenge for the injustice that was done to him. And I think every Candyman after that is the same idea, right? Because what's his name?
The main one, Anthony.
No,
The one before him.
Yes, the one from the 1991.
Shereen Fields, I think. Sherman Fields.
Yeah. So I mean, because he's the same one from the beginning of the movie, isn't he? Like he's the one
throughout. Yeah.
handing the candy to the little boy in the laundry room.
Mm-hmm.
And so they killed him, even though he wasn't the actual person who was committing the razor blade in the candy. But the cops killed him anyways.
Yep.
Right. So that's why he became Candyman, because it was another injustice that was done.
Yeah.
Right. That led to him, I'm guessing, wanting revenge on his murder.
Yeah.
So I think it has nothing to do with like time, but more about how severe someone was murdered for whatever the crime was, even though they didn't commit anything. Right. They were just killed because of who they were.
Yeah.
So
I thought a lot of it was. I thought a lot of the people that were being killed were based off of like oppression.
Yeah.
But I could be a little wrong. So, going into Anthony's life, you see that there was the art show gallery curator. I think his name was Clive, I believe, and he didn't like him. He worked with him because of his girlfriend, Brianna. And basically laughed at his stuff, you know what I mean? Like basically didn't really want to give him the chance. And he's like, dude, what the heck is this? And he just gave him like the small corner. That was it.
Yeah.
And then they ended up dying because, they said the name. And then there's also the woman who like harshly.
The critic.
Yeah, the critic. Yeah. Like that's her job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when he went to her house and said, I dare you. And then, bro, her scene was legit. I thought I was just like, oh, that was cool.
Oh, when it's like panning out.
Yeah.
She gets dragged.
Yeah. Like when she got up like that, I was like, oh snap! It gave me like paranormal activity.
It sure did. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, just like, oh snap! I was just like, why would she be? That's her job, right? And so I was like, maybe she oppressed his art. I don't know. I'm just trying to like figure it out because when you actually do find out about the original Candyman, you're just like, oh, just it seems like he's just kind of getting revenge over his oppressors.
Right.
Well, so I said something very similar when I was watching, because I watch everything with my wife because I'm a scaredy cat by nature and I don't like scary movies.
And he can't sit by me because I talk a lot.
Actually, in this movie, it would probably be a benefit because he would distract me the entire time.
Wow.
And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I don't have to pay attention to the movie. But I was like, and she's watched Candyman, the original Candyman. She's watched all of the Candyman, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, she horror movies to her is like a comedy. Okay, she thinks everything is funny, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, I married a crazy person." She's laughing. I love you, honey.
She's got that Jordan Peele twisted.
But
mind.
so we were watching it, and I made a comment, and it's like, "Oh, well, all the black people, they'll be safe because he's not going to go after them." And then the scene comes where he kills the little sister in the 70s. And I'm like, oh no, he's just going to kill anybody who says his name. Gotcha. No, everybody's in danger. It's not just people who are oppressing.
Right. And so about that, so about that kill. So the one where he killed the sister.
Right.
Yeah. She told the brother to get away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be a form of oppression?
It could be. I mean, he was being mean to him.
He was being mean, very mean. She's like, "You're a baby." I was like, "Well, you guys aren't even that much different in age."
Right.
I was like, she looked like she was 13. He was like 11.
You could take. Yeah. No. I mean, that argument could be made that she was being very oppressive to her brother.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter that it wasn't like any real severe oppression. It was just an older sibling being mean to their little sibling.
Totally.
Who hasn't gone through that?
Exactly.
I mean, I haven't because I was the older sibling. But
but
we oppressed our child.
You were the oppressor.
Yeah. I'll admit to that.
And then, when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's a little bit far fetched though to call that oppression. But I mean, she did say the name, and that's what happens.
Yeah. And
then also the high school girls. Mm-hmm. Remember, her name I believe was Haley. And she goes, "Hey, you guys heard of Candyman?" And she got her 4 friends.
Yeah, and they all.
And then apparently they bullied the girl that went into the
stall.
The stall,
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, they bullied the girl. And I was just like, and that's where it almost clicked. Like, is the Candyman only killing oppressors? But he's killing oppressors and people who say his name.
Right.
And I'm just like, it always seems the people who want to test it are the ones that like if they're
the ones that are
reckless.
provoking them, provoking him basically.
Because it never killed Anthony when he said it at the beginning, like when he was teasing his girlfriend, and he just kept saying it. I'm like, bro, don't be bringing that stuff into the house, bro.
And it didn't kill Helen from the first movie,
right?
I didn't see it though. But apparently he didn't, for like confirming it in this movie.
Yeah.
She ran into a fire. She did that herself. But
the way the brother of the girlfriend started telling the story, it made it to where she was the one that was psychotic.
The evil one.
She killed her dog and did all this stuff, and then
started killing children or wanted to kill Anthony.
Did a snow angel in blood. That was
right.
I was just like, I was like, I guess this was supposed to be kind of freaky, but I'm just like, that's weird.
I thought, I thought, because I think Peele does a good job of, Peele and the other writers too, but Peele, because he did the same thing with Get Out, right? And it's like there's this underlining message he's trying to get across to the people that are watching it, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was, in this movie, it was interesting, right? Because you're listening to the brother tell the story about Helen and how she murdered all these people and everything and wanted to sacrifice a baby and whatnot. And how, in reality, it was the opposite. It was Candyman trying to kill the baby or trying to sacrifice the baby and is the one killing everybody. Yeah. And she was trying to save everyone. Right. Mm-hmm. But part of the issue was that, she was white in the projects, interfering in the community that wasn't hers,
Mhm.
right? So this idea of she's just another white person trying to get into our stuff and take advantage of us, took over in that mentality of and became a legend of her being this crazy person who just wanted to kill the people in the projects, right? And to find out, oh wait, nope, that wasn't her at all. She died saving the baby and giving it back to the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really interesting. And the people also thinking, because whenever Anthony goes sees his mom, right, Anna Marie, it's implied that Candyman was thought of a hero, right? He was trying
for the project,
right? He was protecting he took vengeance on injustice, but it was just vengeance, period, right? On anybody who did anything wrong. And that when Helen saved the baby and everything, the people in that project were like, you know what? No, Candyman is bad. We need to never say his name again and never bring him back to existence again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Speaking of say my name, so Anthony McCoy, who became Candyman, have you guys noticed that his name was said 5 times in the movie, like literally Anthony McCoy? So the first one was the gallerist who was reading the like the person who made the painting, right? Which is Anthony McCoy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's number one. The second one was the local news reporter, right?
Yeah.
So he said Anthony McCoy, da da da. So he literally says, "Oh, he said my name.
Likes his
they
name,
said my name." And if they did a close up on his eyes, it was like it had a red ring around it.
He's like, obviously it's horrible, but
Yeah.
it's my name.
Yeah.
And then William Burke, which is the laundromat owner.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Who he's crazy. And then
Something else.
yeah, and then the art critic, the one that got dragged across the sliding door panel.
Mhm.
And then finally the girlfriend.
Bro,
Brianna.
how many times did you watch this to catch that?
Wait, no, but you said the nurse too, right? The nurse in the hospital said his name.
No,
Oh, she
just
said
said
Mr. McCoy.
Yeah, Mr. McCoy.
McCoy.
But I'm saying like the
Full
full
name.
name, where he
Oh.
goes Anthony McCoy, and then if you noticed, every single time that they said his name, Anthony McCoy, something bad happens after that. For example, the art critic, right?
Well, what about the woman that wanted to recruit Brianna because of Anthony McCoy? She's like, Anthony McCoy. She said that in when she was trying to hire her onto the New York team. You remember that?
Was she?
Yeah. She said, well, because she said her board was buzzing about him because of what was going on with his piece.
Yeah. But I think so. It may have been said, but it wasn't really acknowledged by Anthony. All 5 of those times, he actually witnessed it.
Oh.
You know, but I don't know if that made sense to anyone.
Hey, you know that I'm gonna take that. I'll take that to the bank because I did not pay attention to that at all.
And then of course the obvious one was the mirrors in the very beginning. It was
Oh,
crazy because we get a text from Izzy. What was it saying, Izzy? What'd you say, Izzy? What was it?
So I was trying to watch it on this website, and it was like backwards. And I was just
Legal
like,
one. It was legal.
It was good.
and I was just like, yo, what's going on? And so I'm just like, no, this isn't working. I was like, I'm having a hard time. Everywhere is like backwards. And so what I did was I was just like, you know what? Let me instead of this one, let's go to Google and see where else they can watch it. Like there was a bunch of listings. And I was like, you know what? YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. So watch it on YouTube, and it starts backwards. And I'm just like,
you guys are messing with me.
oh, that's right. Candyman deals with mirrors.
That's funny. That's
I
great.
was just like,
I
Jesus.
actually when it started, right, and all the things were happening, I'm like, oh, look, everything's backwards because it's it's a reflection because he comes through the mirrors or whatever. And then she's like, oh, that's interesting. And then she goes, why do you think all of the letter like A and B, all of those are like filled in? What does that mean? I'm like, they're mirrors. they're mirrors. Like it's what they're representing. She said, "Oh, no, that makes sense."
I mean, yeah. When I was watching it the first time, or the first title, or and then the second one, and the third one's like, okay, what the heck is going? Oh,
Everything is
mirrors.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That was a good, even though it was so simple. I thought it was a nice little add to just
Right.
emphasize. You
It was
gotta
like-
look in a mirror
Maybe I
or
should've
a
just
reflection.
twisted.
It doesn't even have to be a mirror.
Right.
It could be a reflection, right?
Yeah.
I was just behind on watching the film, so I was just like, I can't watch it at the theaters right now. Like it's like 10 at night. I'm just like, okay, let me just watch it online.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it was online. But yeah.
But you were like psyched out, Jay.
I was just like, yo,
Jordan
what's
Peele
up?
did it again.
I'm like,
Mind twisted Izzy.
How do you do it? How do you do it? You're such a genius. All right, so so Brianna, so going through all their problems, like you had Anthony McCoy's problem with finding his new inspiration.
Yeah.
You had Brianna trying to make right of her relationship with Anthony. You have who else was like Nathan, who is protective of his sister. I don't know if he's the older brother or not, but he was very protective of her. But he was super harsh with her. He's all like, you have some connection to artists who have psychotic breakdowns. I was like, dang, dude, that's your daddy too, bro. And then who else? I think that's the main characters that had any kind of issues. Oh, the laundromat. What was his name?
Willenberg, yeah.
Yeah. So he was the one that explains to Anthony that, we used to blame it on the Candyman. The Candyman this, Candyman that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, but who's this guy? And then you find out that he was the kid at the laundromat. He works at the laundromat. I was like, wow.
I was just going to say that, like, the connection. And he was the guy that was being oppressed by the older sibling, the sister.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
Candyman was like,
Dude.
So he kept Candyman's legend alive, basically.
Yeah. And it was funny when Brianna looks down, she gets into the laundry room where he works and he looks down in the basement and she's like, no. He closes the door.
I was like,
I was like, smart. No. I was like, don't do it.
At least there's
Don't
one
do
smart
it.
person in
Yeah, I
this
was
entire
like,
place.
don't do it. And then she just closed the door. I was like, yep, she didn't do it. Smart girl. Smart girl. I was just like, yeah, no. And then, dude, so remember when she was knocking on, I was like, hello to the lady. And then somebody grabbed him.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he wearing the same colors as Sherman Fields, or I believe that's his last name, right? As the
Candyman.
current Candyman.
Yeah.
I was just like, why would he wear that color? Why? Specifically, why? But, and then it shows up to
Probably because he wanted to be like the Candyman.
Mm-hmm. And so his problem was he went psychotic because he saw the Candyman before he died, saw the injustice done by him, and he read up on the stories of Candyman, which ultimately, when you do, you go psychotic almost, And so I was just like, he's a psycho. But then what didn't make sense to me, remember when Anthony got stung by that bee and then his whole hand got all messed up? Tell me y'all wouldn't go to the hospital if it was like
that was
this.
an argument I was making forever.
He was in there peeling it. I'm like, bro, like just go to the hospital.
I'm like, apparently your girlfriend don't love you enough to see that and go, hey, we should probably get that checked.
It's like, I think
when he started moving his like fingernail on top, I was like, oh,
like how did you get it that far?
All up here. Yeah,
did you like that? Like the burn marks or the infection, whatever you want to call it, looked like beehives,
honeycombs,
like honeycombs, just
all
like
the way to the neck too,
all the way up here. I'm like, dang, that
they might as well just have bees coming out too,
Yeah,
I were eventually.
I should also say that like I get like my skin gets all tingly whenever I see like a lot of holes somewhere, like kind of like trypophobia.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was a thing until I looked it up,
definitely.
and then all of a sudden everybody has it too. I was just like, no, you guys don't, because I would get like just like it just feels like I have pimples all of a sudden. Like it's got so high, like my pores just got. My skin is like chicken skin. But when I saw his face like that, I was like, ooh. I was like, oh. It wasn't like I wasn't scared. It was more like, frick, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that's part of the whole, because I wouldn't say I have tryptophobia, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I look at something that has like holes like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's uncomfortable to look at. I'm just like, oh, that's kind of disturbing to watch, right? So I think they did. I mean, that whole. His whole neck and his face just looking like that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's kind of disturbing. That's
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, Candyman 2021, would you consider it a sequel to the first part of the 1992 film's Candyman, or would you call it part 4 because there was 2 more sequels that came after the very first Candyman? So, would you call this part 4, or would you call it part 2? Because personally, I think it just circles back to the original one. Like, nowhere did they have any kind of connection with the second or third movies. They circled it back all the way to the female character. I forgot her name. Helen, yeah. And was she in the second and third film?
No, because she died in the first one.
She died in the first
one. She fell in the fire.
Yeah.
Saving the baby.
So who was in the second and third that would be
able
to be able to?
All I know is that my wife said,
remember.
Because I never watched any of the original ones, right? The older ones. But my wife, she said that number 2 and number 3 were just stupid. And so I would say, from her information that she gave me, that this is a sequel of the first movie,
like
and it really
has sequel.
Yeah. Because it's Anthony. 20 years later?
It was the baby,
equivalent to the Dragon Ball GT, series. It's a part of it, but it's not canon.
It's not canon.
There you go. There you go.
That would be it.
Yeah. I'm not a nerd. No, not even.
Yeah.
And then another question would be, at the very end of the movie, who summoned Candyman? Was it the cop or was it Brianna? What do you guys think? Brianna. Okay.
She said it 5 times in the rearview mirror, and I was just like, well, she's messing it up for herself, right? You know what I'm thinking, right? But I didn't see Anthony coming out. Remember when he came out? I was just like, really? I was just like, okay, it makes sense, because I did expect him, but I didn't expect him to come out when she called his name. And when she turns that corner and sees Anthony doing what he does with the bad guys or whatever, like bad guys.
Bad guys.
And then all of a sudden you see the bees coming around and they change his face into Tony Todd.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Tell everyone." And dude, his voice was dope. I was just like, man.
Yeah.
I want to put the voice like that.
CGI effect.
And then she's, I was like, what is she going to tell him? I was just like, tell him what? Tell everybody to say the name?
Yeah, obviously.
I was like, oh snap.
Obviously.
Oh snap. And so I was excited to see Tony Todd there, because I was just like, I don't know who this Sherman guy is, but I do know that Tony Todd has been playing Candyman for years for my childhood, and I never watched a single one. But I knew that he was the guy. I knew he was the guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's Candyman.
I was just like, you look at him, I was like, bro, that he's a mean dude.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like I said, I thought he was a hero. But he was a bad guy.
But I think his face transforming into Todd's face symbolizes that it could be anybody,
right?
Just like how Batman can be anybody, which I doubt, because
I can't be Batman.
Exactly. So
I mean, you can be Batman.
So he can't be Candyman either.
I mean, you haven't seen me and Batman in the same room, so
that's true.
That's true.
I read that somewhere.
I haven't seen Batman, period, but
right, yeah. But so talking about, you said it could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be anybody. Yeah. This symbolizes, his face showing up on Anthony's body. It just says that it could be, he's hunting anybody now, right? Because he's just renewed all of a sudden, using Anthony Burke's body. So it's like, oh, okay, this is how we're gonna go. So it's like,
did you see the ending during the credits? I watched all the credits, by the way, and they showed like the different Candyman.
Right. And that's why I was saying I don't think it has anything to do with time, but what was the injustice that was done to whoever became Candyman, right? Because the little boy with the little bicycle and the girl was jealous because I'm guessing he had a bicycle and she didn't or whatever, and they killed him for
that's
it.
right, yeah.
I'm just
and
like,
also
that's messed
they
up.
killed one of the guys who moved into their neighborhood.
Right.
Put hooks in his chest. I was like,
exactly.
Oh man.
I'm like, why?
There's a show. What's that show called? Dang it! There's a show that's about a black family that moved into a white neighborhood. And what was it called?
Is it a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show. Really good.
It's the one with Cedric the Entertainer, huh?
I think so.
And the guy from the New Girl, and the Johnsons. No.
What was it called? But like the monster in it, he has blackface on, right? And he's like this monster that's just trying to convince them to do evil things. It's super creepy. It's such a great show, but super creepy.
What channel was it on?
It was on. I think it was on I want to say either Apple TV or HBO Max. One of those two. I think it was Apple TV though. But it was very disturbing. Really well done.
Okay, not what I thought it was. Okay, never mind. I thought it was a comedy.
Man, I gotta look it up.
I thought you were talking about
if you know what it is, put it down in the comments below, so that way everybody can enjoy it, because it was really well done. I thought it was. Oh, it's creepy though. It was super creepy. So now for my negative. My negative of the show, of
Devil's
the movie.
Advocate.
Right. I mean, somebody's got to be a critic. I hope I don't die like that critic.
No one's daring you to say it.
I'm not.
In the bathroom.
I never will. Anyways, lately I've been looking down because to get out of my room to go downstairs, I need to pass the bathroom door, and the door's always open and the mirror's right there. I don't look at the mirror as I walk down the steps. I'm like, I'm not even gonna take a chance at it.
Oh my gosh.
But
there's like 3
here's
minutes
my thing. Like, here's my thing. Like, I thought the movie was really great. I thought, like I said, Peele does a great job of trying to get the message across to the people, right? And I was like, oh, I'm totally on board with this. I get who Candyman is. I get what the people thought Candyman was, right? He was this hero trying to bring justice to those who have injustice or whatever. And I was all on board of it until the ending. The ending lost me. I got very disappointed with the ending. First of all, what's his name? What's the laundromat guy's name?
William Burke.
I was like, okay, I understand. Is that really what his name was? William Burke?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. William Burke, I'm like, I get it. You are all about Candyman. But
you're a big fan.
Right. But like, I feel like his craziness came so left field to me. Like when he was in the church or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make him the Candyman, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the heck? Where does this come?
Like, showed no.
At least show a little bit of craziness as you moved on.
He was so calm about it when he was explaining it to Anthony the whole time. It was
right.
Like, like really super calm.
Well, the amount of information he had was a lot too. So
right,
I mean, but not a lot of people could live with that much information. Apparently so.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But I felt like he was so sane the entire time that when he became, like, when you saw his craziness, it was just like so abrupt. I was like, okay, well, that was super weird. Like, I felt like they were trying to get the bad guy to be like, oh, here he is. We forgot to put him in earlier. We're going to put him in now. And then my other criticism is the last scene where she's holding Anthony in her arms in the room, and the cop comes in and starts shooting. Right? I'm like, first of all, how did you not shoot her?
Her leg.
She was holding him in his it was like he was laying on top of her. He shot him, but didn't shoot her in the process.
He has good aim.
And apparently, I mean, he was a master shooter.
Oh no, they shot him because he was the slasher that everyone was looking for.
I get that. Yeah. No, I understand why they shot him. But he was just
positioned.
Yeah, he was. She was laying like
she was like this, or
you can't tell me after 5 bullets into him that not one of those goes through him and hits her in the leg at least.
True.
No,
and second of all, like the whole injustice situation, I get, especially like Chicago. Chicago's, I mean, notorious for all the problems that it's having with police and the minorities and everything. And I get that. I understand it. And that's why I enjoy the movie so much. But I felt like that last scene where the cops are like, well, he was a threat, and like you knew they were crooked cops, right? But it was so forced that to me it was like you kind of ruined the whole point. I liked Peele's idea of here's the undertone. This is what it is. All these people don't like minorities because of these reasons, or they're always oppressing them, and so on and so forth. But they do it in such an elaborate, such a genius way, and then to just do it so cheaply at the end. Oh, this cop is gonna shoot him because he's black. He's not gonna ask any questions, and that's it. And then we're gonna tell what's her face, you have to agree with us because we're the cops. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you just ruined it there. To me, it's like that wasn't necessary. You understood the whole movie, what it was about. And that last part turned me off. I was so on board until that ending. I was
I see what you mean.
I turned it off. It didn't attract me anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I was happy it was at the end because I was like, I'm over this.
But I think that was there so people could understand that what? You know, they wanted that oh, how dare they kind of factor.
No, I get
Not
it.
like, yeah, it was weird. Like, I know what you mean because I thought the same thing. I was just like, didn't she get shot? Like, you know, I was just like,
how is she still walking?
She's
You know,
still walking.
I was yeah. And I'm just like, not only is she walking, but she didn't walk on her with her hands behind her back by herself still. I was just like, I would be shook. She just like penciled the dude or penned the dude in the face.
That was pretty dope.
You know what I mean? I was just like, okay, yeah, that was. I was just like, so they're gonna blame it on the guy? And then she's like, I'll tell you everything. Just let me see myself.
Right.
Let me look at myself.
Review mirror.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a cop, I would have thought, no, you're not saying that name in this card. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing. I think that was more of that urban legend to that projects, right? Like
No, to all of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But would you say that people who lived in wealthier areas of Chicago knew about Candyman or the legend that if you say his name 5 times, he's going to come out?
The critic did. And she,
Well,
that's because she went to.
She was welcomed by Anthony McCoy too. I mean, he was welcomed into her home because he was in there.
But like, so I was just like, I don't know. I was just like, it's just. I was also thinking one of my questions actually for you guys was his powers only working in Chicago? Because I'm like,
That's a good question.
I was like, is it only a Chicago thing? I was just like, that's kind of cool if you think about it.
So going back, and I did some research on this too. Cabrini Green was where it was filmed at.
Yeah.
They actually had to make peace with the gangs over there to even film that movie. And so it felt like, since Candyman 1 was filmed over there too, 2021 version was also filmed there also. You know, it was there. But I don't know about the second and third. But I feel like most of it happened in that area, you know. But the critic, I think it was just because Anthony McCoy was in there, which is why Candyman was in there. And it's funny because in that moment, it foreshadows Anthony McCoy turning into the Candyman because. You know, he was everything that he was doing, Candyman was doing.
Right,
so it was just a foreshadow, like he was gonna become it.
Yeah.
And the bee wanted to go to him.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
It was just like that,
dude. And so, oh man, the bees. Speaking of the bee, like
those weren't bees, those were hornets, bro.
Oh, they were
bees
hornets?
are like this big. Those things were like this.
Yeah, they
were ginormous.
They were
I'm like, that's
thick
not a bee.
with 2 C's. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, those are pretty huge. I was like, but
yeah, what was that all about? This symbolism.
Oh, it's because the first guy, they covered him in honey and the bees attacked him.
That's right.
That's why the first Candyman has bees around him.
So it just followed through with everybody,
right?
All the Candyman.
And that's the coolest thing to have, like as a superpower.
Bees
to manifest your body. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna show up, but the only way for me to show up is for a swarm of bees. Just chill. Like, and if you think about it, in 1992. Tony Todd had that scene where he has like his mouth open with the bees in his mouth. Yeah. I was like, yo, those are probably real. And he probably had to train himself to do that. Like, because I've seen people do that. Like a lot of bee owners, they do that, like for fun or something like that. I don't know.
Well, what's her face?
On YouTube, of course.
What's that singer's name? What is her name?
Which one?
It's not Beyonce, is it?
No, it's not Beyonce. Dang it. I forgot to. Dang it.
My bad.
No, it's not you. It's not you.
Of course it's not me. I'm not a singer. So
no, I mean,
I'm not female either. So.
That's true. I mean, no, she had spiders in her mouth in her music video.
Wow.
Those are real.
Rihanna?
No, she's white. She has. She sings like very dark songs, but they're so good.
Lady Gaga? No,
nope.
Not Lady. You said dark songs.
Yeah, she sings very dark songs, and they're very ballady for the most part. Oh my gosh, it's gonna.
I don't know why I'm thinking of Evanescence, but that's not. She sings.
It's okay.
Rock ballads.
All I just remember that there's a scene in one of her music videos, and a spider is coming out of her mouth. And I'm like, is that CG? And then I watched her documentary, and it was a real spider coming out of her mouth. And I'm like, props to you because that is disturbing.
there's some IG stories of girls doing that. Mostly women are the ones that I see doing that. I haven't seen a dude do that yet. But I mean, I have seen dudes like have like multiple like tarantulas on them, just like chilling. What's up, dog? I can do this, you know. But yeah, no.
Oh, jeez.
Is there any other questions you guys got on the movie? Because mine was just, is it in Chicago? Is he only stuck there?
I don't know.
Can he go
I
everywhere?
mean,
'Cause
I guess
they're
we have to
reversed.
watch number 2 and 3
Yeah.
of the
Right.
originals to see if he left Chicago.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, once upon a time in Venezuela.
And I wonder if you have any One Piece fans. I wonder, does Candyman know Brule? Comment in the comment section. Let me know. Does Brule and Candyman know each other?
I think
Are
do.
they dating? You never know.
That part I don't know, but I think they know each other.
Yeah, one is a pirate, and one is
Oh
a
my
slasher,
But he has a hook,
and he has a hook.
and it's very connected with pirates.
It is.
You see? Just letting you know,
I mean, we
buddy.
did mention
The
Captain
plot.
Hook earlier.
Yeah, Captain
Has-
Hook. You're right. Mhm.
Thickened. All right. Well, I guess we can get with the grades. The grade of the movie. I want to start with. I thought the movie was awesome. I thought it was great. It really, got that or captured his artistic side, because like art can be painful sometimes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He was really trying to get the people to love his art. He's like,
Mhm.
yo, this is real. This is cool. I'm excited. You could tell how excited he was talking to the critic, and the critic, even though she was talking in a way she would with other artists, it kind of felt like she was talking to him because of the color of his skin, but that wasn't the case. She was like, she said, "You're kind," and he's like, "Excuse me," and she's like, "Artists."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I caught that too.
Yeah. I was just
you
like,
might as well just say it.
Yeah, I was just I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, that's okay, yeah, because she is a critic, and she may be harsh, and sometimes she may be, great towards other artists, but that exchange really kind of put in perspective the rest of the movie. That was really good foreshadowing for me to understand how this character works. I really liked the chemistry between the brother and sister, Nathan and Brianna, because Nathan never liked Anthony, because Anthony was just like a struggling artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, I can relate to that guy. Just
Writer's block.
let me just take a second. But anyway, yeah. So him trying to convince, like, dude, he ain't anything. All right, just forget about him. And even though he said those mean things to her, like, always attracted to these psychotic artists, I was like, dude, ooh, only a brother can say that. You know what I'm saying?
How he comes in. We're
Or
here.
a sibling.
We're
Yeah.
collecting her stuff.
Right.
Right.
And so, there was a lot of great synergy between all the characters. So, I'm gonna give this is a really like good movie. So I'm gonna give this an A. And if I had an option to whether watch it in the theaters or rent it, I would definitely watch it in the theaters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go next. But so yeah, this movie was pretty interesting. Ever since the second they opened it up with the critic or the credits and how it was all mirrored and everything. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be one of those twisted movies, huh? So so it's not only like a horror film, it's a thriller, and it has a whole bunch of suspense in it, obviously. And I just like those kind of movies. To me, it wasn't really a scary movie. It was just like one of those makes you want to think what's gonna happen next kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jordan Peele did it. He did a pretty good job on this.
And the other ones, other writers.
Yeah, and the other writers did a great job.
Nia DaCosta and Wynn Rosenfeld, guys.
Yes. All of them did a pretty good job with Candyman, with the sequel to the first one. I'm gonna call it right out. I'm gonna say that this is a great sequel as a part 2 to the first Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna give this one a B, because I agree with Leo with how they ended it. Like, I literally just sat there and like, really? That was it? The second I said that grade goes down for me.
It like loses the whole letter grade. Yeah, I get you.
It's like, it's done. Okay. Oh man, that's not an A. That's a B for sure.
Yeah.
But no, everything else, I think they did a great job with the foreshadowing, the way the character was developed into Candyman at the end. William Burke was a left field for me. I did not expect him to get all crazy and insane at the end.
Yeah, that was confusing.
I was like, I almost want to say it's because what he was reading, the book was, it's another one. It's called, let me see. It's Underweave or Weave World. And Weave World is basically, this is my research. Weave World was had a whole bunch of stories, and one of the stories was about Candyman, and he was actually reading that book. So it was kind of like, okay, that's a good one. Just throw that book on.
Good job. That was an Easter egg. You caught an Easter egg, huh?
Good
job. Of course, the Easter egg expert.
Right here, yeah. Easter egg hunter.
But
yeah, right.
This is why I don't do Easter with him.
No.
He just gets all the eggs.
All the eggs.
No, I know where they're at. I'm just gonna look at it. I'm not gonna take it.
Makes sense.
You guys can take it. But yeah, B for me. What about you, Leo?
All right. So, by the way, first of all, Billie Eilish is the artist I was talking about.
Oh,
with the
that's
spider.
right. Yeah.
I like, what's her name?
Billie Eilish.
So she was the one I was talking about. Now to the rating. If I'm going to be nice, I'll be minus. I want to get it a C+, but I feel a little... I don't want Candyman coming after me because I feel like it would be a little bit of an injustice. You see what I did there? Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
C is a little close to Candyman than B is,
Yeah.
So.
No, like I thought the movie was done well. I think the just everything was very well. It was just very well done. I said, Peele did a great job. I like how he does his movies. I've enjoyed the other two movies that he's made. At least the other two that I know that he's made.
Get
right?
Out and Us.
Yeah, those were really great.
Keanu.
And so this one was just as good, in my opinion. It was just that last scene, the laundromat dude, Burke, coming out of left field, like how crazy he was. I'm like, okay. And then it like forcing the idea of what this movie was about was just, it was just tacky in my opinion. And that's what bothered me. But I'll give it a B- just to be nice. And
C+ is your real.
But C+ is really, just because of the ending. If
hear that?
If the ending was
See,
not that way, if that ending was not that way, I would give it an A.
Okay. All right.
That's how bad that ending was to me.
How do you think it should have ended?
I don't care how. I don't care. Like if she killed Burke, and then that was the end of it, and then Anthony dies. That would have been a great ending to me, right? Because is he really dead? He literally became the Candyman. He morphed right into it. He put the hook, Burke put the hook on him. But it was just the cops coming in and doing what they did. To me, it was just like, we got the point. You kind of killed it with trying to force it down our throats right there at the end. And I just didn't like that part. It was just I got it. I understood it.
Right.
You didn't have to add it. Just let Anthony die, and then she like leaves, and man, Candyman would be crazy. I don't know. I'm not a writer.
I didn't even think about that because like when Randolph asked like what is the ideal ending, and it happened in the credits where you will see the first Candyman and then four come up behind him with him in the middle.
Yeah.
And then more come up behind them, and then all of a sudden this huge amount.
He became one of
I
them.
was just like, that's tight. Now imagine if they actually manasted on the street.
Oh,
Oh
gee,
my
all
Like,
of them?
it's just like, all
Just
of them
like
in that
a-
order. Just like
That'd be
Next
crazy.
ticket to paradise.
yeah, and just like, ooh man, those projects though. That's where it's at. It's happening over there. A lot of honey.
Oh my gosh. So that's sweet. That's sweet. Not really. All right. Well, I'm good with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, well,
let's do it.
okay. So that wraps up this episode. Huge thank you to Wet Wong Media. New episodes every Wednesday.
Don't forget to like and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Listen to our podcast anywhere through Anchor FM.
Like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are down below. Thanks again for watching.
See you
See you
next
next
time.
time, guys.